ideas? If you want to jump in a good trade, bad trade.
Yeah, I don't have much to show because I only took one trade last week and I got out the same day. I took the ZM short, and then when it didn't break down, I just covered it break even. So that's really all I got to say on the good trade, bad trade front. Sorry.
So I had like a quick, like two little lessons. So for like XEL, again, utility name, we kind of talked about. Like today, I got hit on AEP utility name. So last week we were talking about like there hasn't really been much action. Not lots really going on. Like I've been buying utility names. So in this name, bought 62, broke. Started to break out a little bit. Boring name, break even stop. And last week it was up near 64. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm in this utility name, this super boring name. The SPY is getting back up near resistance. I'm going to probably up this stop. Like, I don't want to give this $2 back in this utility name for no reason. Like, I want to take these gains. And you look at it today, and I literally got stopped out, like the exact low. I think my stop was 63, like 74. Low is 63.70. And then it's back up higher today. But
it's ripping today.
Yeah, it's ripping. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I messed it up, made money in it. But at least for this AEP, it's the same setup, it's the same chart, it's the same sector, same utility. I got to buy 92. And now this time, same thing. I'm going to have a break-even stop. But hopefully I can hold this name a little bit longer. If it doesn't work, I'll break even. But hopefully I don't kind of push myself out like this XEL, which will be like what I did last week. And the other thing we talked about, the chart location, like the ATVI, the NVIDIA is like bottom right. This EDU was a perfect example where I bought this big, beginning of the year through 56 when it was really beaten up, like bottom right, but it held those lows, and I bought on the way up, and I sold like 70-ish, like after earnings. So it was a good trade. I got like 14 points out of it, but that's kind of like how long it took. It took this name the entire year to get back to 108, to that awesome level that we still bought. And that's kind of like that example where like I didn't have the patience or even the thought that it was going to get back to highs in a year. And that's kind of like that ATVI where if you're looking at it now, it's like, oh, it's going to be this easy run back to 84. It's going to take a month or two, where it's like, it's probably going to take like a year to work itself out back to those highs.
Yeah.
So once we start talking about it, I'm like, oh, damn, this runs just an EDU. Because I did the same thing. Like I made some money in it. I would have been up 100%, but I just wanted to take that gain, take the 14, 15 points relatively quick. That was in like a little less than like a month. So that was just, my little lesson for the last week or so.
I read your boy's book, Nicky Darvis, how I made $2 million in the stock market. That was probably one of the best stock market books I've ever read.
Yeah,
I've read so many. That really helped me get back to basics and shit like that. When I was telling you I was getting my mind right, I read that book, and it was just like he would sit out bear markets, and two, when he got all the news flow, it reminded me so much of myself, where it's like I'm getting so fucking caught up by the news and trying to catch every headline. It's actually giving myself it's a disadvantage to myself. So and what I was talking about with you, what he would have done is he would have held that winner. Nicky Darvis is holding that winner when he was up like fucking 150K, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna hold it, and he made like 800K.
Yeah. Even talking to like Captain Joe. Joe Wilburn, this was like in the beginning of the summer, he was nervous about going to Alaska. He's like, I'm not going to have access to the markets. I'm going to be, putting in orders at nighttime when everyone's waking up to that. I'm like, Captain, like the fact that you're going to be away from the computers, like away from all the noise, like, you're going to love it. And then he comes back, he's like, I had my best month in August. He was up like, 10 or 12%. And it's like, dude, you're away from the market. You're away from the noise, just like what he was doing. And that's kind of where I like, don't read any news. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Just, because I can't change the news. So it's just
right. And it's funny. I was talking to this guy made millions and millions in the 90s, a huge oil trader, and we were just kind of talking and stuff like that. And we were talking about the differences when he traded versus when I traded. And when he was trading, information and headlines and stuff like that, that was gold. That was worth millions on Wall Street because no one had it. Now every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry has every bit of news that Wall Street traders have because of the technology aspect, where it's like everything's coming to your phone, every headline, every push alert or whatever. So it's so funny how it's like it went from information was the most important thing to now information might be the worst thing, and you might need to block it out the most instead of trying to get every bit of information. It's just like only stare at the price.